CNBC-TV18 and Salesforce present Dream Big Bharat.
Hello and welcome to CNBC-TV18 and Salesforce present Dream Big Bharat, a special conversation series where we'll shine the spotlight on all that emerging technologies are unlocking for enterprises in a digital-first world. I'm Mridu Bhandari. Customer is king or queen for that matter for any business worth its salt. Today's consumer is tech-savvy, well exposed to numerous possibilities and demanding to say the very least. In this scenario, enterprises across sectors are banking on emerging technologies to personalize experiences, enhance convenience, and offer human empathy wrapped in artificial intelligence to attract, retain, and engage their customers. So on this inaugural episode, we are talking about revolutionizing banking, financial services, and insurance sectors in particular by crafting engaging digital-first customer experiences. Let me welcome my panel of experts in our Mumbai studios here. Hemant Kumar, Head of Sales, Retail Partner Distribution, Bajaj Allianz. Arjun Roy, Vice President, Max Life Insurance. Raja Roy, Co-founder and COO of Zapfin Technology. Abhishek Soni, Co-founder and CEO of Upwards Fintech. And Sonali Kalyanikar, Regional Vice President of Salesforce. Welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining us here today. Let me begin by first asking you all to lay out one challenge each that you are facing as the whole BFSI sector evolves and attempts to become digital first. And Sonali, if I may begin with you.
One of the challenges that many BFSI banks and financial institutions are addressing proactively, I would say, is addressing their new customer base, which is the Gen Z, right? Today, Gen Z is very technology savvy, like you said, and 30% of India's population is the youth, and youth is entering the workforce. So it's even more important for banks to address these. Just to give you a few numbers, India's fintech industry is at 36% market share for new to credit customers, and primarily this is the youth population, right? And if you talk about UPI, the numbers are even skewed. 90% is with the fintechs versus probably just 10 with the banks. So for banks today, it's very imperative to make sure they make trust as a bedrock based on which you create your technology, you put your services, you put your ecosystem. And we at Salesforce, trust is the #1 core value, and I think it goes a long way.
Absolutely. Okay. Abhishek.
So I think drawing from Sonali's point, experience, like she rightly said, Gen Z is entering the target segment of all banks, and experience and engagement is tantamount. The approach, if I go 3 decades back or even a decade back, it was very institution first, that we are the lenders, we are the providers of financial services product. Today, that approach is a very customer first. So that transformation of institution first to customer first, getting that into your DNA, which is rather than focusing on your policies, your processes, which might be archaic in some cases, focusing on the customer first, what the customer needs, how do you make it the best from the customer's perspective, is the challenge which all legacy institutions are facing, and fintechs are a big enabler towards unlocking that potential.
Right. Okay. So we'll come to that collaboration bit, during the course of this conversation. But Raja, a challenge that you want to lay out?
Well, Abhishek and Sonali has touched upon that the technology piece. We have to keep 2 things in mind. One is the privacy of the data, and second is the accuracy. We may be a very good articulate about how technology can play, but at the same time, we have to keep that regulation in mind, data privacy in mind, where customers should not get offended. Is my privacy is open to the field, #1. #2, accuracy. When you are doing any kind of artificial intelligence, you have to keep it in mind that the data is up to date. If a data is outdated, you will probably land up into a kind of doing an analytics which will give a result which is not satisfy the customer, and customer will not be really interested or probably get frustrated.
Right. Absolutely.
So I think I will echo with all my friends here, and Very importantly, one aspect which is very critical while we go in the field and we are doing business is the customer onboarding experience. And over the last around a couple of years, specifically I will say the last 4 years have been extremely challenging for the insurance companies. As we have to give the best of the onboarding experience, while we look at the opportunity of the risk modeling which is coming up, wherein we feel that the customer who is coming to us is a far more knowledgeable customer. So while we onboard him, it is very imperative that we give him the best of the experience. Secondly, of course, I will not end only at onboarding. Finally, it also comes to small things like claim settlement, also the submissions like the normal submissions which customers do. I think it's very critical that all this point we are playing the best game in terms of digital experience.
Right, absolutely. And you know, I have a few questions for you on that front, but let me bring in Hemant here.
The challenges which I see in the being in the industry for 20 odd years now, customer expectation. The customer expectation today has changed drastically, and the challenges for the service provider like all the companies have multiple challenges. One is meeting out those customer expectation, and you have to manage the outdated technology which are phasing away and new technologies are coming in. At the same time, you have a competition to chase with and compete with, and you have to maintain the framework of regulator. You can't avoid that as well. So this entire environment, the entire ecosystem to build for the customer, wherein the ease of doing business becomes very important and customer has a wow feeling. That's the challenge for us to face and find the solutions. So that's what I offer at this point in time.
You know, Abhishek, if I may come to you. Now, India has, of course, been a fantastic consumption story for at least 2 decades now. At this point in time, we are, you know, 65% of our population is under the age of 35 years. There's low data costs, there's increasing smartphone, internet penetration. So the expectation and the behavior of the consumer has shifted. In all this, there is a fintech revolution that's taking place in our country. Give us a sense of the big tectonic shifts that you're observing on the customer behavior front, and how does a digital native business like yours really act very quickly to serve that changing need?
So the tectonic shifts which are happening is a very customer focused approach. If you look at even the developed markets, the NPS of financial services as an industry is very low. Today that is on the uptick, courtesy fintechs, because now fintechs have taken a very customer centric and a tech enabled approach where customer grievances are addressed on priority. Even the regulator in India is very proactive and is able to take preemptive actions where they see any hamper being done to customer, and either from a policy perspective or action perspective. The second big change is that now the customers need of the pile of data and documents which was required 5 years ago or maybe 3 years ago is no longer required. Today, a retail loan can be disbursed in a matter of few hours. We do that. Our parent organization, which is Lending Cart, they disburse a business loan today in a matter of few hours to few days, which is very disruptive and something which was not possible, say a decade back or even a couple of years back. So tectonic shifts would be a lot of focus on customers' need rather than what the institution wants to provide.
Right. So, you know, as Abhishek was very rightly saying, customer satisfaction is at the heart of every business today and has to be. It is a business imperative more than anything else. How does Salesforce help its BFSI partners navigate disruptions when it comes to customer journeys? Give us a sense of all that you're doing with your customers.
Since the theme of our discussion is Dream Big Bharat, Salesforce is very deeply engaged with many large banks and financial institutions to help them in their journey, in their goal of capitalizing on the rural segment, on the rural Bharat, right? Be it creating products for, say, an agriculture product or a tractor loan or micro loans, right? This is an area which is which is where Salesforce is deeply engaged. Salesforce is a customer company. Our effort has always been, how do we give a 360-degree view to our customers of their own customers, right? So it is, we work with various personas in the bank, say a lending card, right? There would be a relationship manager, there would be a teller, there could be a call center agent. Imagine all the interactions that they are having with their customers, and all of that you're able to see it on a single screen. That can be very powerful, because then it's very easy for those agents to respond to their customer queries very quickly. And one thing, AI as a technology, Salesforce has embedded this for almost 9 years now, and tools like Einstein AI definitely help customers in a lot of their sales tactics, a lot of their engagement tactics, which anyways help boost the business, right? And services like AI for CRM was launched somewhere in 2014, and as we speak today, there are almost 1 trillion AI-powered predictions done by Salesforce Einstein, right? So customers who are deeply engaged with us are harnessing the power of Salesforce to, of course, enhance their customer relationships as well. That's what we do with BFSI.
I want to talk about the challenge of the silos within organizations and how you are navigating those. Hemant, if I can ask you, what is it that large legacy organizations can do to ensure that different teams within the organization are not working in huge data silos? Because a lot of the times what tends to happen is that the same data or the useful data is not accessible to everybody at the same time, or it is absolutely not accessible to some teams at all. And how do large companies get around this challenge?
The step 1, what we do with the data is we bring in the data, we map the data with the customer journey end to end. If I have to give you an example of life insurance, in life insurance, the customer journey is pretty long. Starting from acquiring the customer, that's onboarding journey, to servicing the customer, and this is a long-term product, so it goes for 10, 15, 20 odd years. So entire period the customer has to be served. There could be death claim, there could be maturity benefits, there could be nominee updation, there could be change of address. So lots of data accuracy is required here. So first step what we do is map the data with the customer journey. Second, we use technology as a unified platform to make the data available to all the departments whoever need it at any point in time. So they can just log in and access the data of their use. Definitely we have to keep the security in mind, what level we can provide the data, what kind of data is accessible to you, the data which are relevant to my expertise or my requirement could be available to me, may not be available to you. What is available to you could be available for you but may not be for others. So this is the second thing we do. And lastly, what we do is at a company level, we create a collaborative culture. So data in silos cannot be without departments working in silos. So both of them had to be hand in hand together. So the company's employees work together in collaboration, and so is the data.
CNBC-TV18 and Salesforce present Dream Big Bharat.
Welcome back to CNBC-TV18 and Salesforce present Dream Big Bharat. Abhishek, if I may begin with you, when it comes to sensitive financial data, of course, there is the governance and the compliance bit that needs to be taken care of. There is also increasing cyber crime, cyber frauds that are happening today because of the accelerated digitalization that we are in the middle of. So in this scenario, how are you harnessing emerging technologies to build customer trust? And are there specific solutions that you recommend for companies, especially SaaS-based companies?
Sure. So I think the answer to that is twofold. One is the technology aspect, and then the industry and the regulators working hand in hand. On the first bit, which is the technology aspect, today at upwards level, we would implement the best-in-class security solution, whether that will start from something as simple as SSLs to doing very frequent VAPT tests and testing where our system might be at risk or exposed, so that we are well embraced for any kind of future threats and the customer's data is not at risk. Simulating threat attacks, leveraging AI capabilities, leveraging the best-in-class cybersecurity mechanisms are one aspect of it. The second thing which I think is very, very positive about India in general is both RBI and MHA, Ministry of Home Affairs, at least for the large fintechs which are of certain size and scale, they have empaneled them to ensure that no data breaches happen, any kind of harassment practices are not implemented, and those are now whitelisted. So now if you have to be a fintech in the Indian landscape, you can't just open up an app and do it, which was the case probably 2-3 years ago when there was a surge in such incidents. Today you have to go via regulatory mechanisms. Then Google Play also has done its bit by frequently delisting all the apps which were in such malpractices.
Hemant, what is it then that customers can do, and what is it that large organizations can do to educate their customers? Because the technology and being digitally savvy is new to many generations in this country as well.
For data security, there are lots of enablers we have done. One, the biggest thing is the scam identification. So I think most of the companies have done that. The moment any attachment or any external mail which comes to your system, which is an organization system, there it says that is a spam, do not download, and there could be a detected scam there. We have put in lots of restrictions, like you cannot forward the information, you cannot copy the information, you cannot take the information on mobile phone. While you have an access to the system from mobile phone, but you cannot download it, you cannot take the print screens, you cannot save it on your device. So these are the, but a way forward, the way it is being advanced. It is a journey, I would say, and this will keep evolving with the time. So let's be a part of it, you and me as a customer, and be safe with the organizations.
Right, absolutely. Okay, so I want to shift gears a little bit and focus a little bit on financial inclusion as well, and that's a large play that fintechs have a role in, legacy organizations obviously have a role in. Raja, if I can come to you, you help banks and financial institutions with fintech logistics around documents, around debt collection. Give us a sense of how you are driving inclusion at the last mile. Any success stories, any use cases that you can share with us?
Yes, thank you. It is really pleasure to say that we have been selected one of the large private sector bank to manage their entire loan document across India. When I say loan document, it starts with MSME, SME, agriculture, wholesale, home loan, LAP, everything. Entire document digitization and the management of that document and putting into the central location, which has been successfully been progressed over last 1 year, and it has been appreciated. Not only that, it has been recognized by other banks. The industry is looking at us to give us a solution, because the entire solution has been, the workflow has been designed by us, which is completely on our platform, and entire activity has been done in a way so that there is a complete transparency. And data security point of view, all the data which has been captured, it has been encrypted. So no way you can access the data from my system, because the moment I capture the data, I cannot just take the data on a mobile like this. On a platform, it is getting captured. The moment it is captured, it is encrypted. It will get decrypted when it is getting downloaded at a customer front. So this entire journey was successful over last 1 year, and we have been successfully executed a project, or it is going on. It is ongoing process.
Wonderful. Technology is a great enabler, and on the inclusion front also there's so much work happening. Wonderful to hear that. No conversation on technology today is actually complete without talking about the newest kid on the tech block, which is generative AI. And I know that some of you are already exploring Gen AI and seeing some use cases and some results. Sonali, if I may come to you, as with all sectors, BFSI will also see a lot of action around Gen AI. Give us a sense of the opportunity that generative AI brings for the BFSI sector, for financial institutions, not just in India, but perhaps around the world. And how do you see this phenomenon really shaping up in the next couple of years?
One thing, generative AI is the latest, and I think every CEO today realizes that they have to invest in AI, one, to stay relevant and to stay competitive in the business, right? They need a digital strategy for today, and build it in a way it has to be resilient to all the technology changes. We spoke about so many, right? The way the technology is moving at a very fast pace. So every employee today has to be very productive and very efficient, and that is very much possible with enabling of all the technologies, and especially Gen AI today. I spoke about how we are helping customers with their sales tactics and engagement tactics and so on. Generative AI is also creating a lot of new job opportunities in the market today. As industries are embracing this transformation, a lot of new job creation, there are prompt engineers, AI data instructors, instructor design, so many jobs that are created related to Gen AI today. And we at Salesforce, we're making sure that our customers are able to use this at ease, at a faster pace, unleash the power of generative AI, and do it more securely and safely. That's an important aspect. While you can use the technology, it cannot go wrong, right? It has to be done safely and securely. And that's the journey that we are in with many of our customers at Salesforce.
Right. So on the insurance front, Arjun, what is happening with respect to generative AI? Any interesting use cases, and how do you see the future shaping up?
So I see the future shaping up very well, specifically the use of AI, and I think the three places where insurance company has a huge scope to build on this. And I think very importantly, the first part is the submissions, wherein we are where we are doing the claim submissions or maybe the renewals, where AI will play a very important role, thus giving a very good experience to the customer. Secondly, while I come from the sales background, so I think while we source the customer, we have a huge data pool, and therein we are doing a risk modeling and also steering the portfolio. So AI will play a very important role while we do this. Thirdly, the product development. So you will see that in our industry specifically, product plays a very important role, and I feel AI will play a very important role while we design the new products for the customer.
Embrace the wave, ride with it. Sonali, gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us here today and sharing your very valuable insights. Well, with that, it's a wrap of this edition. Innovation, collaboration, and technological prowess will clearly drive us into a very exciting future. As the boundaries between physical and digital continue to blur, emerging technologies will remain imperative to creating engaging customer experiences in the future. And of course, we'll continue to bring you conversations and insights on all that and more. For now, it's a wrap on Dream Big Bharat. Until next time, thanks for joining us. Goodbye.